nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerds.
I don't know. Okay. We could do a conversational thing.
Okay, and then we'll just do a quick intro, and then
sure.
You say your name, and then I'll say my name, and then we're here for BGN.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Who goes first? You go first? I go first? You know I had to do that. I talk first? You talk first?
Hi, I am Mel.
Hi, this is Kai, a.k.a. Yogi Kai.
Yes, and we are here to discuss Star Wars for May the 4th. May the 4th? Woo! May the 4th, yeah.
Yes. May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you. All right. So I wanted to start off by let's talk about our favorite character and why they're our favorite character. So, you go first.
Okay, because I'm a vintage fan, I have to get two. Because there's this part of
cheating,
me that
I'll let it go.
well, just because now that we have people of color, it's different. So for me, it's Leia, because I was very fortunate that my parent. I mean, I really shouldn't have been a Star Wars fan. I don't want to get into the representation thing, because I truly feel Star Wars is for everyone, and there's something in it that will hold you if you're the right kind of person for it. Mm-hmm. But Leia meant the world to me because the minute she opened her mouth, I was like, I saw myself in her. I was very mouthy as a kid. Because I was different, I had to learn to speak up for myself, and I never really liked it. Wasn't until around Empire Strikes Back time I actually started liking boys. So I would boss boys around because they would just be moony around me, and I would I don't want that. So I would say, go away, go do this, go do that. And so I saw myself in her, and I just fell in love with her. But the reason why representation is so important, at that age, my hair was down to my butt. I could have easily rocked the Leia buns, but I never did because she wasn't me. I saw myself in her, but I wasn't going to do the Leia buns because that was her. If she would have been black, would I have done the Leia buns? Yes. So she's always my first, but my second is Finn, of course, and not just because of who John is. I feel just to have Obama be president, he had to be a certain type of man. The first black person in Star Wars, not first black, but the first main black character in Star Wars, it had to be John Boyega. It had to be someone, it wouldn't have worked otherwise, because people who love him and dress up like him, they love him as a person and they love him as Finn. And Finn means so much to me because after 30 plus years of trying to get my nephews to watch Star Wars, and they just said, oh, that's not for us. And my little grandnephew, oh my God, he's 5, and he saw Finn on the screen, and he said, Daddy, I want to go see that. And his dad took him, and then they come back, and they're burning up Facebook oh, maybe we should watch these Star Wars films, because that Force Awakens was really good, and I'm looking at my computer wanting to choke them all through the screen. And so now they all watch Star Wars because of my 5-year-old. So aww. I get 2, Leia and Finn.
Okay. I'm going to get 2, too.
Yay!
Wait, hold on. Let me change this because, I expanded my screen and then I don't know if I need to be in it or not. Let's just leave it like that. Okay, so my 2 are, the first one is Luke. I know. have
No, that's so
always,
cool. I'm just fascinated to hear what
I
Luke.
have always loved Luke just from the first time I saw that movie. Like the first time I saw him standing on Tatooine and then like the double sun, he's looking out there, and I had to think about this because I couldn't explain it at Celebration because I was tired and I couldn't think right. But the reason I love him is because he's an idealist. He's the dreamer. He's the one that is. He doesn't exactly know what he's doing in that first movie, or in most of the movies actually. But he's willing to go out there and get it done and try his best. And he sees the best in people, and then in turn that makes people want to be better to be around him. I mean, like Han is the perfect example because he saw something in Han, and Han was like, I'm about to go, but he didn't want to go because I would have disappointed Luke. He had to come back because he couldn't leave Luke mad at him. He couldn't.
And the fact that he asked Luke to come with him.
Yeah.
Which I don't think Han's ever probably done that in his whole life.
Yeah, it's Luke draws people to him. They see like that inner goodness in him, and they're like, okay, I want to be part of that he has going on. So like I love him because he's an idealist, and I love him because he's kind of awkward sometimes, and he was a kid and he wasn't perfect. And I think that's why a lot of people disliked him. Like, oh, he's like he's whiny. He's a teenager. I don't know any teenager that's not whiny. I mean, I really don't. And so that is why I love Luke, and that's why, in a way, that I was kind of sad to see him in the Force Awakens. I mean, I was excited like crazy when he came up on screen. I was like, Luke, oh my god! But at the same time, I'm really sad because here's this guy who managed to see goodness in his father, a mass murderer, who everybody thought was gone as far as you can go to the dark side. There is no coming back. And he saw goodness in his father, and he managed to draw that goodness out. Like, he drew it out of his father and turned his father back to the light in a way that no one else could have. And then after all that, you see at the end of Force Awakens, he's lost that. He's lost that idealism. He's lost that ability to see good. He's broken down. So like Luke, who saw the best in the world, has completely lost that because now he's been betrayed too much. It's been too much. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was heartbreaking to see. And of course, Finn is my second.
I'm so surprised.
You're so surprised. Because I got all that Finn merch for no reason.
I know. Oh, and don't feel bad about missing out on that thing with Spiro, because I think they just picked cosplayers. So even if you would have done that video, because I rewatched that video with him,
and you know I
and they were all cosplayers.
Okay, and I wasn't in any kind of costume.
Yes.
So yeah, I went home and I put up all my Finn stuff. So I'm like,
mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, there are 3 bobbleheads, 3 Funko.
Yes.
There are like 3 like little plushies. There's 2 actually.
I know, you need
and I was like, and then I bought the jacket from Hot Topic.
Oh, that's right. I bought that too. I finally got mine in.
So I love Finn because, also because he's kind of awkward. I have a thing for awkward people who don't really know what's going on. Mm-hmm. I think that that would be me in those situations. So, like,
but he's like, it's a newborn in a way too. It's like he never had a choice,
Yeah, I mean, when everything was telling him that he should run, he still came back, and he went back to the thing that scared him the most for a person he just met. So like somebody who's that loyal, that's a good thing. I love
yes.
That. Yes.
And he's good because he did run. He tried to run for a hot minute, and
it was really a hot minute.
Yeah, it was a hot minute. And I think what I love about Finn is that whole acting eye game when he first sees Rey, where he goes from I'm going to help her to that look of realization that she doesn't need my help. And I almost wonder, like, even though he probably doesn't know his family, I wonder if he has deep memories of his mother. And I'm not going to lie, I ship Rey Finn. Like, that's... But I also, it's very important that I think that Rey doesn't have a space kiss, that Rey ends the franchise being Rey, and I think it's so important for everyone to see a best friendship, to see the two of them. I'm not gonna lie though, I want them to have little Rey Finn babies. It's like I just want
I
it
just
so
want them to
badly.
be
But
happy.
what I love about Finn is he's enough of a man that he's gonna let her do what's best for her, you know. And that's
I
what
mean,
that
after being under Phasma for so long, I mean, really,
yes.
she'd cut your head off if you came in trying to be all, I'm a man, I'm gonna save you.
Yes.
No, no. But that says a lot about his character, that he was just willing to jump in and save somebody that
Hmm.
he just met, and it's like, who is this person?
Right.
Finn. All right, so I don't think we decided if we're gonna do favorite movie or rankings. I think favorite movie. Favorite movie, favorite
Yeah.
moment.
Oh God.
Or you can do
You go first.
top three favorite moments. Hey, I
Oh,
just
good.
asked. I asked.
Okay, so I have to go first. Okay, so it's weird because it's hard because they changed it with the special editions,
Let's
and
not talk
I'm
about
like,
that.
there's some things that I just can't. Like, I'm like that grumpy old person on the porch. But I would have
I
to
think everybody's
say,
that grumpy person on the
yeah,
porch. Nothing
I'd have
that
to
they changed
say
was better.
yes. No, number one would have to be Luke looking at the twin sun setting, because everything about Luke you get in that moment. And with the music, you realize like this isn't a normal like movie. It's something so deep. And I think in that moment we've all felt that way, and especially for me growing up in a small town, and all I always wanted to do was get out. I wanted to get out. I had to caretake my mom. I had other responsibilities, but every time, and the hundreds of times I watched Star Wars as a kid, seeing Luke stand there looking at those suns, it's like I understood that. Like I understood that
Mm-hmm.
completely. So that's my favorite. My second is the whole sequence with Han and Leia in the asteroid field, especially that when he's saying "Never tell me the odds" and the Falcon's flying through the asteroid field, and music. I still, every time I've seen it 50 times, and every time I'm like, oh God, like they're gonna crash and they're gonna die, and then my brain is like, Kai, they don't die, they go to Cloud City. Like, why are you freaking out? But that's my favorite, and that's also when they kiss on the Falcon, and that's right about the time where I was starting to realize boys maybe weren't that yucky, and I was all about Han. I was always all about Han because I have to tell you, something about blonde people used to weird me out when I was a kid. And as
You're a
much as I
child.
love Luke, I would be like, maybe because I watched Village of the Damned way too young
Oh
and I shouldn't have
yeah.
watched that movie, but blonde freaked me out. So I was just like, oh, Han, I like me a dark-haired man, I'm like, I like to be a dark-haired man. That's good. And my third would have to be the lightsaber going in Rey's hand, because all up leading up to The Force Awakens, I was nervous because I thought I had a client whose wife works for Disney and she was
Mm-hmm.
making the toys, and their marriage is really funny because she can't, like on our podcast, she can't tell him anything. And he's the biggest Star Wars fan. And he said, I got something out of my wife. And I'm like, tell me. And he told me a year before The Force Awakens, he said, this is a female-led trilogy. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, it's going to
Ooh.
be reflected in the merchandise too. And so I got so excited, but I was doubtful. I thought, well, she's on the poster, but I don't know. They're gonna screw us over. And the minute that lightsaber went in her hand, I realized, oh my God, it's true. Like this is her story. And it just took Hasbro a year to figure that out, but
Yeah, they're still trying to get that.
yeah.
Okay, so the Rey lightsaber moment, that is my number one.
Awesome.
Oh wait, hold on, I'm losing you.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Is your connection going? Cuz like you've completely frozen.
Nope, I'm here. You're moving too.
Uh-oh.
Do you think you ran out of recording time?
No, it's still going.
Okay, I'm here though. I'm moving.
Okay, I
I see myself down here, and I see you widescreen.
change. All right. So we're just going to continue on. This might end up being just audio, but that's okay.
Oh no, 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 no. We won't. We'll just do audio then.
Okay. Oh, but your
It
voice
doesn't
is
make.
breaking up.
Maybe it's just my iPhone. Maybe I need to bring my
It
phone
sounds like
closer.
something's wrong with the connection.
Let me see. Now I've got good battery life. Everything's fine on my end.
Mm,
Do So you just can't see me?
I mean, I can see you, but like you're frozen, and then it sounds like the audio sounds like the connection's going out.
That's weird. Let me try turning. No, I'm charged. Everything's good. Looks good on my end. Can you see me moving?
Mm-mm.
That's weird. Okay. How about if I do it this way? Does that change anything?
What? Did I change something else? Like I can't see.
Is that better? Or what? No
No,
difference?
it's about the same. I think it's a connection problem, sadly.
Okay.
This is the curse recording. I blame Palpatine.
Well, we can keep going if you just end up having audio. That's good.
Okay. All right, so...
You're not going to put the video of me out there. That's not happening. I will tell Jamie on you. Delete. Yeah, I think it's, I wonder if it's just on your end?
Can you see me?
Because I see you fine, yeah. I can hear you fine. And my screen is all showing you.
All right, I guess
Yeah.
we can just continue and we'll see what will happen.
See what happens.
Okay. I'm assuming this thing is still recording. Okay, so the race scene, which I can tell you is an hour and 53 minutes into the movie.
Oh my gosh, you're hardcore.
Yeah, because I made sure. I saw that movie a lot of times, but like I made sure while watching the Blu-ray, I knew exactly when that scene was happening. I remember the shock of seeing it. Because, like, I didn't know anything going into this except for, like, Vanity Fair pictures and, like, my Finn toys. But, like, no, because I thought, okay, she hit the tree, and then that was going to be the end of it. And then poor Finn got his back slashed out, and I was like, what is happening? And I was like, Kylo's going to win, and then, damn it. And then the lightsaber flies right past him into her hand. And then that iconic score comes out in the background. You're like, oh my god, is this happening? Is the girl the Jedi? Is she the hero? Yes, she is, and it is awesome. It was I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. It was so cool. It was so cool. Oh my god, I can't wait for the next movie. So yes, Rey getting the lightsaber, the girl being the straight up Jedi. That was amazing. Okay, I guess the rest aren't really in any particular order. I had an answer to this before, and then I can't remember exactly what I thought. Like before
But
for
it
celebration.
changes. It's so hard to put like a limit on things because I'm not thinking the 90 other things I didn't pick. You know, it's so hard.
Okay, this is gonna be like a strange / messed up choice, but from Rogue One, the scene after they've aligned the dish and then shot Krennic, and then they're like, okay, we're done with that, and then they're both injured and they're in the elevator and then they're just staring at each other, and then the light is behind them, and then the score is gorgeous behind them, and there's just something bad is about to happen, but they made that seem so beautiful. And then even going down to the beach where he's like, your father would have been proud of you. And then they're hugging, and then you see the light of the explosion in her eyes as she's staring at it. It was so beautiful and so heartbreaking at the same time. And I just thought, as sad as it is, like it took me a few viewings before I could watch that and appreciate it. As sad as it is, it was a very beautifully shot scene, a beautifully scored scene, beautifully acted scene. It was just so true to both of their characters and what that movie was about, as sad as it was. So,
if you haven't read the adaptation yet, read that scene in the adaptation. It will make you cry. It's so beautifully written. Like the person who wrote the Rogue One adaptation, that I immediately went to the back of the book and read that scene, and it was so beautifully done. That's sad, but beautiful.
Side note, I went to the one of the tech panels at Celebration when they had like the guys who did the CGI, and then they showed the explosion, their skeletons being evaporated.
Oh no!
I was like, that was harsh. That was harsh. That hurt.
I love how at the last minute Cassian kind of closes his eyes and Jen doesn't close her eyes at all.
Just staring at the danger.
Like, yeah, she's hardcore.
She is. She is. That whole movie, oh my god. That whole movie was so heartbreaking and so good at the same time. Okay, so then my third. Why is this so hard? I feel like I should take something from the prequels, but there's nothing to take, so...
Oh, that's cool. It's the only character.
I can't...
My favorite is the Django Obi-Wan fight. That's pretty cool.
I like the Darth Maul fight in Phantom Menace. That was really good. Mostly because the Duel of the Fates in the background, it just makes Duel of Fates makes everything look so cool. I mean, I can clean to Duel of the Fates, and I would look good cleaning.
Yeah.
Just no. So I guess my third favorite scene would be the Luke standing there, looking at the double suns, because that was the moment that I fell in love with Star Wars. That was it. That was like, this is gonna be it for me. This series, this character, all of it. I'm like, I've bought in. I am gonna be here forever. I am done.
Yeah. And you know, if they do something like that, Force Awakens, we're all gonna lose it. Like, it's gonna just lose it. It's bad.
Oh God, the next movie. Okay, so what are your hopes for the next movie?
I don't know. Something about sitting in the Last Jedi panel. So I have a theory. Like, you can't be a Star Wars fan without being a theory.
We need like at least 5 theories.
Yeah, it might not be the word gray because people are getting all up mad about the gray Jedi, but there's something about, it's like Rebels has been leading us to think that there's something not, that's going to develop that's not called Jedi. And that image with the gloved hand touching the paper, that definitely is a symbol from the, it looks like a symbol from the old EU. I had to pull out my old EU books, and I'm like, that looks like the same exact symbol. And so up until that trailer, I thought Luke was going to die. I thought, and now I'm thinking that he might not die, and that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. I want him to speak. Yeah, I want him to say something.
Well, we heard
I mean, I
talk
love
in the trailer.
Yeah, but you know, they that's like, that doesn't mean anything. I love that. Like, I've been recording that. I'm like, I'm going to use that for my meditation practice.
I was thinking the same thing. Breathe. I was using that on the plane back. I was like, breathe.
Yeah.
You are a Jedi.
But, you know, as the first one shows us, there's no guarantee that's going to be in the movie. But when he said the Jedi must end, I thought, oh my God, Luke may not die. Like, Luke, like, we're going to have this third way. Like, and I don't know what the name is going to be. But I feel like, and the thing is, because not everyone watches Rebels, so they're going to have a lot in this movie. They're going to have to tell us what happened, and Bloodline gives us a kind of clear indicator of that. When you start to read that, some things are going to really shock you in that, especially about Kylo. Like, I was still shocked that we got this information in a book, because one of my biggest problems I have with The Force Awakens is I feel like, I'm not saying you have to cater to us vintage fans, but that was like a knife in the damn heart, because I'm like, the three of them never come together. Han and Leia are freaking divorced. Like, how could you do this to us? And every day when I think about it, I'm like, unless they recorded something, we are not going to see the three of them together on screen.
Yeah.
And I just want to curl up and fall and cry anytime I think about that, because I'm like, that's not fucking fair. It's not. So that,
you want to hear something even worse? Just imagine Luke in his little hideaway, feeling that Han died and knowing it was his apprentice who did it.
But see, that didn't bother me, because you know what I thought? The thing with Luke is kind of like Ben right now. And I really, truly, I don't know, I think what happens in life, you learn things. Like, let's say a relationship 20 years ago, if I would have saw a sign, I would have been like, oh, maybe he'll outgrow that. Now I'm like, you don't get a second phone call. I saw that. I see you. And I think Luke learned because he made a mistake running off to Cloud City. And if you think about it, Luke didn't do anything but almost fuck up the galaxy. He didn't help Han. He didn't help Leia. He almost got caught. So if he would have stayed with Yoda, nothing would have changed. The
Except
only
he
thing,
would have gotten better.
except he would have gotten better, but he wouldn't have been Luke because he would have killed Vader. So that's kind of where I think the Force sometimes comes in. But with age comes wisdom.
I look at Luke sometimes and I'm like, how are you teaching anybody else? You're like the guy who went to college and you dropped out at the end of freshman year and you're coming back as a professor.
Yeah.
I love him.
But I think we're going to find it's not, I don't think he opened the school like we think he did. Because when you read Bloodline, you'll see that he was traveling with Kylo, or Ben. He was traveling with Ben. He wasn't like sitting and being the dean of something. He was in seeker mode. It was him, because in Bloodline, without spoiling too much of you, Leia's talking, she's thinking about Ben, she's thinking about Luke, she's thinking about Ben, and she tries to connect. She's thinking of sending them a holo vid, but the two of them are actually on a journey alone, and they're just traveling, researching things. And something that happens that Ben discovers sets him on the path to be Kylo Ren. So I don't think Luke was just like sitting on a throne at his school. I think he.
Well, I don't think he was.
I think he,
I'm just questioning his experience
his
level.
Right. I think he knew about Han and decided not to go. I think he didn't go to Han. I think he learned that mistake that somehow. But I don't know. I just want to know what. Is he bitter? Is he happy? Is he... Because I'm going to tell you right now, I would be pissed if I found out that he never had a wife, never had a girlfriend. Like, can you imagine poor Luke, like, not having a little... It doesn't have to be Rey. They don't have to be alive, but I just need to know that he had, like, a girlfriend and,
well, not if he's subscribed to, like, the Jedi, the old Jedi tenets.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Fortunately,
let's see how that turned out. But,
yeah. Well, that's why I love the Heritage of the Jedi book so well, because you have Mara, and you see him go through this with he meets Mara, where he starts to decide, I'm not going to take that aesthetic of the Jedi. I'm going to be with this woman, and I'm going to carve a new path. And, I don't know. I just want him to, like, I just want to figure out what's going on with him.
I think
and I don't want him to
very
be there.
sad and very alone.
Yeah.
I think that was the saddest thing to me about The Force Awakens was Leia. Because I felt bad for Leia more than I felt bad for anybody else. Because I was like, Leia is really the strongest character in this series because she's the only one who kept it together. I mean, Ben went crazy and then killed a whole bunch of people, and Han's like, you know what, I can't be here. Luke's like, you know what, I can't be here either. And they both left.
I think that's how Leia draws on the Force. I feel like Leia is a Force user, but I think she draws on it for strength and influence. Like I
don't
really
think it's the Force. I think it's just who she is. I mean,
But I just always think of that scene in Return of the Jedi when Luke says to her, "It's you, Leia. It's always been you." Like, and also things with Bloodline, you'll see that the galaxy. What happens with the galaxy, like she just has this feeling, but she makes mistakes too. That's what breaks my heart, and I just wish that, I know it has to do with secretiveness, but I just wish we would have had something before the movie that would at least showed us that they had some happiness. You know what I mean?
Well,
like Bloodline came out after. Yeah, but Shattered Empire was, the thing with Shattered Empire, it was like, we're going to give you this. It's the road to the Force Awakens, but we're not going to tell you anything. We're not going to tell you if Luke and Leia got married. We're just going to show you them going on missions together and flirting. We're not going to show you what Luke's doing.
They were married in the comic, and they were cute. They were cute. They weren't really, in the same place all the time. I think that works out better for them.
Right. But I just felt like we never got that, like, them all together. I don't know. I think maybe it's just a generational thing for me. I'm like, I'm not averse to the dark, but I feel like I wish they could have built up a little bit more of honestly, I don't think it would have been a problem if we had a book where we showed them getting married and some stuff before The Force Awakens. So I felt like I was so excited to see, where's Luke, where's Leia, where's Han, and I'm like, oh my God, they're divorced, their son's dark, and Luke is at a mountain somewhere upset. Like, this is not, I'm not going to say it ruined my childhood, but I was like, I don't know what's going on here.
You know what, I watched Return of the Jedi after that, and then I cried at the end.
Yeah, it was so hopeful, Return of the Jedi.
It was hopeful before. And then you see that picture with them standing together, and it's like,
yeah.
Ooh.
But it's reality. It does happen, and I just
I
felt
don't know
like
your son going crazy with dark power.
Oh, but I hate to harp on Bloodline, but honestly, I think as much as I love Luke, Leia, and Han, like they definitely made some mistakes.
Oh, I know.
They made some major mistakes, and I was that's why Claudia Gray was just perfect to tell that story, because I hate Kylo Ren, or I hated him, and I'm reading this book and I was like, oh, now you guys did not do this to fucking Ben, okay? You got this boy who the three main people in his life are legends in the fucking galaxy. So it's like, he's already screwed, because how is he going to live up to legends in the galaxy? And then you keep something very important from him. This is not going to end well. So that's, I feel for him. After reading Bloodline, I was like, well, God damn it. Well, I just can't hate him now. There's more to the story.
I can still hate him.
Yeah.
Like I saw exactly who he was in The Force Awakens.
Yes.
So I remember talking about this on the Han Solo panel, because somebody was saying that Kylo hates his father, and I was like, he doesn't hate his father. He wants to hate his father. He wants to, but he loves his father. He just feels like his father abandoned him. And then that's what he's doing. He's acting out against that.
And that's why I want to know, like, where does he, I wonder where that comes in, because that's why I feel like
two famous parents, and then they're not home all the time. They're just not. Yeah. Leia's always busy. Han's doing his thing. Luke's doing his thing.
Right.
And then they're not home all the time, and then they sent him to go live with somebody else. So then it's like when you see a child of two rich parents who work all the time, and they turn out to be a complete brat. I mean, it happens. You feel, as a child, you feel abandoned, and you act out because you want attention. And then that's how you get attention.
And I think Luke had to have been maybe a little, not afraid of him, but just, like, so scared. Like, he probably was very strong in the Force from a young age.
He probably was. I don't even know if it was fear. I mean, because, like, when you're, the only thing I feel bad for Ben in that way is that when you're in that place, like, you're desperate for attention, and then that means that you're vulnerable to people who will take advantage of that, and that's where Snow comes in, because he was desperate for somebody to put him first, and he doesn't see his parents or Luke really put him first, and then here comes Snoke, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna be your friend. He's like the Force equivalent of the guy in the white van with the candy. I mean, it's just
especially when it comes down about, like, how he learns about his ancestry. It was messed up, and I was like, okay, Han and Leia, like, you guys, I'm like, my childhood's a little slanted now because you guys messed up. Like, you messed up. You should have known.
I would have kept that secret too. I wouldn't tell anybody.
It's hard. I don't think they did the wrong. I just wonder that, I don't know. It's just, but that's what happens. You learn and grow, and often kids make the same mistakes as their parents. I think that's why I think at first I thought Rey was Luke's, because I thought, what would Luke do if that was his daughter? He'd probably do the same thing his guardians did for him. He'd leave her in the middle of nowhere, in a place where she wouldn't really know how special she was, or she wouldn't be able to access. So I thought it was really interesting that Diana, something she said on our panel, because I thought when she said the Force and she started fighting Kylo, I was thinking like, oh, she tapped into her stuff. But Diana made it seem like that it was just an adrenaline rush.
Yeah,
and that changed all of my theories, because I thought, because she closed her eyes and I thought, oh my God, I
think it's a combination of both. Like, there was adrenaline, there's fear.
Yeah.
And then she found her balance in the Force,
Right.
And she found that balance through the fear and the adrenaline. And then you can see the moment where it all left, and she's like, you know what, I gotta get out of this place. Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought to myself, that's because she's got the DNA of a Skywalker. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. It just means that she's a smart girl. Yeah, she's a smart girl who knows how to fight, and she just figured it out. She didn't, you know, she didn't need the Force.
If Luke can tap into the Force in 2 seconds.
I do want that whole thing with her doing the thing with the guard explained, because I want to know how a kid who doesn't know anything about the Force or Jedi use Jedi mind trick. Now that's something I need to have explained to me.
Well, I think that whole vision opened something up in her. It did something.
That's the only thing I could think, because she just totally did an Obi-Wan, like, Force trick. Like, she just, like, and that's why I'm always with dude bros online getting in fights with them, because they're always trying to call her a Mary Sue, and I'm like, do you know Luke had 5 minutes on the Falcon?
You know what? That's the thing that does get to me, because I love Luke to death. But Luke is the biggest Mary Sue of that series after Child Anakin. Anakin.
And the comics make it worse.
Mary Sue of the series, because like what kid what?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, no.
In the comics, he loses his lightsaber twice.
Mm-hmm.
He beats Boba Fett by accidentally tripping and hitting his jet. I'm just like, okay, no.
You know,
so
I love about the comics, because every 5 seconds it's Han coming to save Luke. It's like he's coming to save Luke from the smuggler planet. He's coming to save Luke from the desert. He's coming to save like, Han is always like, where's Luke? I gotta find Luke. I gotta save Luke.
And I like the Han Leia flirting. Like, it makes a lot of sense. You see more how they work. Whereas a kid, I was like, oh wait, okay, she's choosing Han. Okay, that's fine. But in the comics, you see how her and Luke and Leia would have never worked. Besides it being creepy when they found out later, they're just different. Yeah,
that's so weird. But I'm like, I'm gonna let it go. Oh yeah, so my wants for the new movie. So I want Finn to wake up and to not die.
Yes. Someone told me a secret. If you get an Aurebesh decoder, you know that scene with him in the thing? On the side it says stable. Like you can read all that stuff on that little cocoon he's in. If you read an Aurebesh, it says stable. My friend Trisha told me that, so that he's healing. He's fine.
That doesn't mean he's not going to die later. So
they better not.
Not to die, for him to wake up, and for him not to be evil. So those are the 3 things I want for his character. I want Poe not to die, not to be evil, and
we just want an Oprah moment. Everyone lives except Kylo. Everyone lives.
He's still gonna live too. Like at the end of the series,
I can't forgive him.
I don't want him to be. I mean, people forgave Vader. Well, not people. Luke forgave Vader. Luke forgave Vader. He did, because he's a bleeding heart. Just so, yeah. So at the end of the series, I would rather Kylo not be redeemed, but I feel like that's probably gonna happen. So what else?
Yeah.
I want Luke not to die.
I know, me too.
All my wishes are people not dying, because like I don't really want to speculate on the movie, because I just want to be surprised and shocked and awed by what's happening. But really, all I want is nobody to die and nobody who is currently good to be evil.
Yes. And it's hard because, especially the holidays are hard for me anyway sometimes, you know, just if I'm single and miss my family and things, and I'm just like, you got to stop depressing me at Christmas, Star Wars. Like, I just can't, I can't do this 2 years in a row. I can't do this 3 years in a row. Like, I get Rogue One, I understand that. But I'm like, if you kill Luke or Leia, I just don't, I'm going to have to wait till May to watch the last one, because I just can't keep doing this.
Eventually. And I don't want to be there when that happens.
Yeah.
I will be there when it happens, but
I'm okay with her just being an actress doing some weird hologram thingy. That's fine. Like, I don't want her to die. I feel
like they're going to do a weird hologram thingy to make her die.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't understand how we can have a resistance without Leia. What is this?
I just hope they filmed a bunch of stuff with her and Mark Hamill together And I'm like, I wish to myself, like, why didn't they just pull it Back to the Future and do 8 and 9 back to back? Like, I wish with all my heart they would have done that.
Well, because there's different directors.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was all one person.
And I'm not excited for the episode 9 director. I'm just not.
No, me neither.
Not a fan.
Neither.
Not a fan.
I mean, God, can you imagine Luke in charge of the Resistance?
I don't know. I don't know who
Don't
would
put him in charge of the Resistance.
I wonder
I
if
feel like I talk about a lot of crap about this character that I love, but like I know Luke's limitations. I do. He's a really good pilot.
Yeah.
He's a really good Jedi, inexplicably. I mean, but like,
yeah.
You don't put him in charge of a large fleet of people.
I would have loved for them not to, especially after reading, here we go to Bloodline again, but I would have loved for them to keep Porcella. Like, I wish they would have kept some of the people that they killed. Like, they basically killed the entire government.
Yeah.
And so to me, I'm like, you had some really interesting characters there. And I just wish that they would have, even if, especially when we're learning in the novels how the Resistance formed, what the true origin is that, especially in the last Aftermath book, we find out exactly how the Resistance was formed. And it makes sense, the person who was behind that. And I feel like Leia's amazing, don't get me wrong, but there has to be more than just Leia. There was Mon Mothma, there was the generals, and I feel like they've got a lot to explain, and they've only got 2 movies. And I think whoever made that decision to kill the entire government, I feel like that was a mistake. And it wasn't even clear. I didn't even figure out what was going on until I got the visual dictionary. So I'm like, oh, okay, you just killed the entire, what do they call it? It wasn't called the Resistance. It was the Senate or Galactic Republic. They basically killed the entire government. Like, because apparently the government rotates planets to be fair. So the entire government was on that planet, and they killed them all. And I just don't, it makes no sense to me.
It makes sense of something that the First Order would do.
I just feel like, to me, it makes no sense that there isn't, like, more government other places.
I mean, it was on a couple of planets.
Yeah.
I mean, there are other places, it's like, you have governments in each state, but the majority of the representatives are in Washington, D.C. So if you take out D.C., then you would take out the majority of our representatives, even though each state has its own government. So each planet has their own ruling body, and they send their senators to, Hosnian Prime, and then they just lost all of them, except the ones who weren't on the planet at the time that the planet went bye-bye, but...
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But I just feel like in that case, then, like, you have to make Leia would have to graduate into being Mon Mothma, which means then it would be, like, killing her. I don't know. I mean, I guess it has to happen. I really hate for reality to affect fiction, but I'm just at the point now where, I'm sorry, we lost Carrie Fisher. I don't care what you had planned. No one else should die. Like, I don't care if you have to rewrite the last 2 movies. Don't kill Luke. Don't kill Leia. I don't care. Get some actress that has her body type. Put that dead-eye look on her. I don't care. I just feel like we need to not have these 2 people die. And I know it's not a logical thing and it interferes with creatively, but I'm like, the world is a hard place right now. We need our Star Wars to be a little, like, more...
And then Leia is the Resistance. She is. She is.
Yeah.
She's been fighting
because there's no one else.
All of her life she's been fighting this fight, and she's like, Leia needs a break. She needs a vacation.
And she doesn't even have like she was Mon Mothma looked at Leia as like, you are going to be me. You are going to be the future. There's this amazing scene in Cecil, what's the book? I think Moving Target, one of those road to, and it's this amazing scene where Mon Mothma calls Leia into her office, and they're having this conversation, and Mon Mothma is basically telling her, don't make your life all about work. She's basically like, she's not coming out saying, girl, like, I know you love Han, are you gonna, like, because Leia just immediately, she won't even think about Han. She just immediately does what she does best. and Mom Martha's seeing cracks in her, and she's saying to her, like, don't make this be your only life. Like, don't, like, have more. And at the end of that book, she then goes and says, okay, we're going to get Han, because she wouldn't allow herself to be selfish. Like, she allowed Lando and Chewie to go search for him, but she couldn't allow herself to be, I'm going to stop what I'm doing and I'm going to get my man. And after the Moving Target, she has this great, and she just then says, okay, because at the end of Moving Target, she has her Bush disguise, because you're reading this and they're describing this disguise she has for this mission. You're like, that's the Bush disguise. I know where she's going now. She's going to get Han. And it was just wonderfully done. And I think that's Han is her one thing that she allowed herself just to try to have a life. And,
Well, I can see why she didn't. I mean, Leia, in a way, her work is a coping mechanism. So
yes.
After losing her entire planet, everyone she knew and loved, I mean, it made sense for her to throw herself into her work, because look at what happened after she lost her son, her husband, and her brother around the same time. She just threw herself into her work because that's all she had left. And then
but it's funny. She's like Luke now, because she's saying there's still light in Kylo, and I'm like, no, he's got to die.
That is
like,
Luke's bad influence.
Yes. She's like, and I love how she says there's still light in him. She doesn't say good. I'm like, well, we all got a little light. He's killing people. Like,
well,
he's got
the same
to go.
thing Luke said about their dad. He's like, I see light in him. I see good in him. And then it worked for Vader.
Yeah.
So then Leia probably thought, you know what? If it worked for that, I'm not going to say that. If it worked for that man, then we can bring our son back. But
I think her guilt too is I can't imagine, because I'm not a parent, but I'm sure parents have made major mistakes with their child, and I can't imagine that guilt. And I think she's not seeing too clearly, because I think she's blaming herself that because she said, I sent him away and then I lost you both. And, like, maybe she regrets. But again, like, if your kid's like rotating stuff in the nursery, I'm thinking you're going to call your brother and say, hey, you want to come
with your kid? Your kid's your kid, and like, he may be a murderer, but he's still your kid.
Right.
Still love him.
Exactly. But I was really surprised to learn that when he went off with Luke, he was much older. So I'm like, did he train as a Jedi? What the hell went down? Like, this is too much information I need to know. And then I'm worried, because I'm like, I don't want them to sideline Rey to give me the information I need. But I have, like, I need to know what's been going on.
Kind of flashback.
Yes.
Yeah. Like he
went
in his grandfather's.
Yeah. But I'm like you. I want no one to die. I'm like, can you introduce some new characters so that you can kill people? Because I'm like looking at the new characters. I'm like, can we just get some? I mean, because I like the pilot girl, the mechanic girl, because at first I thought, oh, good, and I'm like, no, she's so cute. I don't want her to die now either. So I'm like, we need
new people so they can die.
We need cannon fodder. It's a war. Someone has to die. Okay, like
they don't kill random people you don't care about. I mean, they do.
If it keeps Luke and Leia and everyone else safe, light them up. Like, Hux is still around. We gotta be able to kill. Hux has gotta die. He annoys me.
He's a bad guy. So they're not. Yeah. He's gonna die. People aren't gonna care as much, except for the people who ship Hux. They'll care. Yes. But like everybody.
I would love for Snoke to turn out to be a woman. That would be amazing. If we had like a female villain. But I don't know who she could be. She could be Ray Sloan. What if like Ray Sloan is Snoke?
Oh, that would be weird.
That would be weird, but how cool to have like the ruler of the first, the Resistance. I don't know. Yes. They've got a lot of work to do, and thank goodness Star Wars is known for having holes, and we as fans, we just fix it ourselves. So, yeah, but I just want Luke to not die.
Yeah.
And it would help if he would have had a girlfriend, at least one. Like,
if he dies, I want to be just a mess on the floor.
I just can't. I honestly will wait for the last one on DVD if he dies. I just can't do it. I can't. It's a rough month anyway. Like, if you want me to be depressed, you got to move it to May. So at least I can go to the beach and just, But in December, and it's Christmas, and all I could think about, I only saw Rogue One twice in the theaters because I just couldn't. I'm like, this is well done, but it's sad as hell.
So sad. I have to get past the sadness. I mean, The Force Awakens, it was such a happy movie, except for that one thing. Mm-hmm. Such a happy movie.
Yes, and had great humor and
just lovable characters. Although I will say that the first time I saw it, I turned to my friend. She's like, "What was your favorite part?" And I was like, "That end part with Luke."
His eye game, that like acting eye game, like I'm mad at you, but I'm intrigued, but I'm sad.
Because I was like, did we go through this
Are you
entire
driving my best?
Luke?
Yeah.
And then when you see that figure standing there, I was like, what?
I know.
And I was like, okay, that scene with Luke and then the scene with Rey afterwards. But like that scene with Luke, I was like, oh my god.
I know.
I love you so much.
And then he just seems like he's grumpy as all hell. He's just like, the Jedi have to end. I'm like, okay, dude, I don't know.
He's broken, and that hurts me. Yeah. That hurts me because he doesn't. Luke, who always saw the goodness. Luke, who walked into Jabba's palace and like, I'm gonna get this done. We're getting out of here. I'm just.
Yeah.
Who's running on bravado alone? Walked into the Death Star with the Emperor and his mass murdering father, and it's like, I'm gonna bring you back to the light. That Luke.
But imagine when him and Carrie are on screen for the first time. I'm gonna lose it. I can't. Yeah. I'm just gonna be like on the floor. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad.
If he even goes back,
he has to. I mean, I don't know. I don't know
I
just
can't. Do with a broken Luke. I don't know.
I know it's kind of like when you find out your hero is human. You know, it's very hard. I had a wonderful mentor, and she, every day in every way, she would drill into me like, I'm not above you, you know, because it's just, I just can't, like, even in this fiction, it's real to your heart, and you're just like, that can't be Luke. What's wrong with him? You know? It's
not that I don't think he's human. It's just like when you see that person in your life who's always positive,
right?
When they stop being positive, it's like when you see, a child and everything is beautiful in their world and everything is nice and they always see the best in what's happening, and then one day you see them and it's like they've realized that the world is a harsh place, and then no one gets happy endings, and then so all that light in them has dimmed. So it's like that with Luke, and that was heartbreaking. And I was like, look at him. It's finally happened where he's realized that you can't save everyone. No matter how hard you try. You can't.
And can you imagine this Luke telling a joke? Like, Han and Leia together, even despite all the years, they're already getting on each other's nerves and cracking jokes. Can you imagine this Luke being even remotely funny? Like, I just don't think I need him to have some joy. I don't know.
I don't know if there's any left. I mean, even with Han was broken too, and it's like you're a completely different person almost.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like when you look at him how he was in the originals and you look at him how he is in this movie. Mm-hmm. It's like he was so young before and just how he acted, and young and carefree in a way, and just looking at him now, he's older and beaten down by figuring it out that, well, he already knew life is a harsh place, but like it's one thing to know that and then to see your family just get torn up like that.
Him and Leia without kids, they could have made it work. They would have been one of those couples that, you know, they'd see each other maybe once a month, but what a hell of a month, you know, 1 weekend a month, but what a hell of a weekend it would be. And they would never have cheated on each other. But I doubt Han ever thought he would have a kid. And he had to lay down so much of his guard to be a father. And just imagine, like, that would break him. Like, I rewatched The Force Awakens recently, and you're just like, oh my God, this poor man, he's broke. He's on this ratchety-ass ship. He left his wife. Chewie is just standing there like, oh my God.
He's making really bad life choices.
Really bad life choices. And it's just like, you think, what could bring Han to this state? And it was the loss of his child. Like, it would, and it's so weird because, like I said at the panel, when I saw the two of them hugging, I was like, you know, they look like parents that lost their kid in an unimaginable way. And I have real life clients who, in my massage practice, who they've lost a kid either to drugs or suicide or just other, and it's broken up their marriage. Like, they can't, you would think that, I'm not a parent, but just even two people coming together, losing that third, it destroys the foundation. And just to think that, and she was past the point where she would never force Han to stay with her. Like, she would never, I just was thinking about when I was watching The Force Awakens, that ring on her finger, and I'm like, I wonder if that's their wedding ring. And then I started to cry. It's bad. Mm. But yeah, Han, I think I knew because someone had told me at Comic-Con the July before Force Awakens came out. I said, yeah, I'm hearing all these rumors. And he's like, well, you really want to know the truth? And I was like, no. And I'm like, okay, yeah. And he's like, yeah. He's like, Han dies. And then I immediately went into denial mode. And then, thank God, I got to say the premiere of Force Awakens, so it wasn't ruined for me. And I'm sitting there. The minute he went on the catwalk, I was like, God damn it. He's dead.
The whole theater was looking at that like, yeah.
He's dead.
Everybody
There's
knew.
No,
he knew.
Yeah.
Kylo knew. Chewbacca knew. The kids did not know. But,
I know. It's sad.
And he went anyway because that was his kid. Well, Han has like a warm, squishy side inside. He's like a marshmallow inside, and that's the part that I like about him. The marshmallow part, not the part that everybody else likes about him, which is like the swagger and the charm and whatever. Yeah. And I was like, I know that guy. I've seen that guy. I've grown up with that guy. I have that guy in my family. Right. I don't really care about that guy. That guy is a dime a dozen. But the vulnerable part inside, that's what makes him, noticeable to me. That's what makes him a better character to me. And that means that he is easily broken by his family falling apart.
And that's why, that's why Han and Leia worked, because Leia couldn't be with a different type of guy. Would have wanted Leia to be like, well, when is enough? Like, haven't you done enough? Can't we just go get a farm somewhere? And and
Leia on a farm.
Han would have never been that guy. Han would, like, I just love that scene in the book where she's like, I just want to leave. Let's just get in the Falcon and fly away. And Han's like, well, we'd kill each other in like 3 months, right? And she's like, but what a wonderful thing. Like, he knows her and he knows himself. And he's like, okay, if that's what you want. And then she's like, he's like, that's not what you want, and it's just so sad. It's so sad. But I want some fun. I want some happiness.
This
like,
doesn't
I
look
want
like
joy.
It's gonna be a fun movie.
I know.
No, look at the trailers. Did you see any fun? There's no fun.
I want Rose to be that little bit of light, like, because my hope is that Rose is like, you ever been around, I'm thinking of it like, and this is a weird analogy, but I'm thinking of it like Rose is going to be this ray of light and a whole bunch of goths, like Ray is going to be like, oh, and Finn's just going to be like, whenever you need Ray, I'm here.
Finn's going to be knocked out.
I think Poe and Rose are going to be like, you want to just go get a drink? Like, you want to chill? I think Rose is going to bring some.
The hangar blowing up. I feel like.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like. Did you see her face when John Boyega said? Because she obviously is her first time, and you could tell she's terrified.
She's just adorable. She's an adorable actress.
She's totally adorable. But when John Boyega was like, yeah, Ray, Finn and Poe and Rose go on a little mission, and her face, she was like, wait, you could say that? Like, because John Boyega's like, I'm John Boyega. Let me break it down for you. Me and Poe and Rose are going to get on this ship, and we're going to go have an adventure. And the actress, she's just like, did he just say that? And John's like, oh, John Boyega, I could say that. So I'm like, okay, we got one girl, 2 cute guys. I'm thinking Rose is getting a space.
Is in a pod.
Rose is getting a space kiss. I'm thinking Rose is getting a space kiss.
They're just dragging his little pod coffin onto the ship.
Yeah. Cause and BB-8 is gonna be like, I don't know, I want her for daddy. I like her. Like, she's a mechanic.
Like,
BB-8's
can I go back and stay with Ray? Why am I here?
Yeah. No, BB-8 was just like, did you see how he almost mowed Finn down in
Yeah.
The Force Awakens? Like, BB-8, he does not care. He wants his dad. Like, he's just like, I need my dad. You guys go do what you want. As long as I can stay with my dad, it's good. All's good. But I just love that. But BB-8's not messing around. He's like, okay, I need this cute girl to get me to my dad. So I'm going to, like, hi. And I think he likes Poe.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he likes Finn. I think BB-8 likes Finn.
Well, after all that they went through.
Yes.
All right, so let us wrap up because it's getting late and I gotta drive home.
I know, it's late. You could talk about Star Wars for hours. It's crazy.
Yeah. All right, so any final thoughts?
I think that I'm really fascinated as we come in the 40th anniversary that, like, it's never unending. It's a wellspring with Star Wars, and I would have never thought you could still be having these in-depth conversations. And my highlight of this year is I'm just so glad, because I've been that fan where sometimes after the prequels I may not have said some nice things about George Lucas, but I love the fact that he got to come to Celebration and get that standing ovation, and I feel so grateful for him that he created something it's been the most stable thing in my life. And not many people could say they've had something in their life for 40 years, and it's crazy, and I'm grateful.
Yeah. All right. And we're both wearing Rebel shirts.
Yes! I'm at K2SO now that I just cry and I pet it when I see it. Like, K2SO is so cute.
Okay,
And my fan fiction, his consciousness has been uploaded somewhere, and they're going to find him on Rebels. And him and Chopper are going to go at it.
Oh, that would
Yeah.
be cute. Okay, so my final thoughts are 40 years. Wow. Can you believe it? Here's to another 40 years. Just another 40 years so I can be old and, to the young fans, like, you just don't know, Sonny.
Yes.
It was like, so another 40 years to Star Wars. So thankful for the first 40 years. And just to be petty, I no to a Boba Fett movie. No to an Obi-Wan movie.
Oh my god, my heart. Okay.
No to an Obi-Wan movie, because I'm like, let's get a Leia movie, and everyone tells me, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with an Obi-Wan movie? Huh?
Well, an Obi-Wan movie, we have Ewan McGregor.
I don't care.
And the older he gets, the more...
I don't care. I love Ewan McGregor, but I don't want to see him wandering around the desert. Ew, we've seen most of Obi-Wan's life. Let's just let it go. Let it fade. He was in the prequels. He was in the Clone Wars. He was in Rebels.
Yes.
Why does he need his own movie? Really? Come on. If we're not getting a Leia movie, we shouldn't get an Obi-Wan movie either.
Exactly.
And Boba Fett, I just don't get. I never got, and then I'm never going to get. So, like, I think that if we're going on this little thing where we're going to keep having new movies, let's do something about a character that we haven't seen yet. Let's stop doing these backstory movies. Let's explore the larger universe of Star Wars. Like, let's go back in the early days of the Jedi. Let's see how the Sith were formed. Something really cool. And let's stop doing these backstories to characters we already know about. Let's just, no.
Even though I'm biased towards Boba Fett, one of the things that Boba Fett movie would do is it could bring a different type of world in. Because with Boba Fett, we could get... Because I don't know if you're reading the new comic right now, the Darth Maul comic. Mm-mm. But with the Darth Maul comic and it's made me think about Boba Fett. And if done rightly, it doesn't have to be all about Boba Fett, but it could be a way to get Ventress in, to get Aurra Sing in, to get Cad Bane in, to get a plethora. And that's what I would want.
No. Because then that's the same argument for why we have a Han movie. So,
yeah, honestly, I have to say, as much as I love that actor, I do not see the point of a Han Solo movie. I think it's a mistake.
Well,
and I feel like
anyway.
What they should have did is, if they put Boba Fett in this Han Solo movie, then under no condition should Boba Fett get his own movie. They should. They should. Yeah, I'm a huge I'm Boba's girl. That's my Twitter, my Tumblr. But if you put Boba Fett in a Han Solo movie, you do not put him in a Solo movie. He does not have the chops to be a lead in a movie. And I love Boba Fett.
You wanted Boba Fett.
I want Boba Fett on screen, but I don't want, it doesn't have to be a Boba Fett movie. I'm wondering if that's their big plan all around with this Han Solo to give us a trilogy with them introducing some new things.
This is going to be like The Hobbit all over again.
Yeah. Ugh. Well, unfortunately, with the young Lando, I think, or if they're going to have Boba Fett
over, I'd take a Han movie.
Yeah. I would like to see Boba Fett somehow, but I don't think he deserves his own movie.
Me neither.
Yeah.
So, no to Obi-Wan. No to Boba Fett. No to any movie starring a male character we have already seen that's not Yoda. I would take a Yoda movie because Yoda has been alive for a god-awful amount of time, and in that time he's seen some cool things. But
and there's Yaddle, who we know nothing about, female Yoda.
Otherwise, I'm
all down for Dr. Dr. Aphra would be a cool movie. I'd be all down for Dr. Aphra. No,
because we have too much Vader.
Well, no, because she's on the outs now with him.
Yeah,
so if they're smart, they'll leave Vader alone.
Through Vader, her main storyline is like, her main introduction storyline is Vader. So like, if they do a movie, it'll be like Vader, and then we already
they could film a movie with her, all of her, and then just have the last scene be her meeting Vader for the first time, and then just
the next movie would have to be her working with Vader.
Yeah,
you can't leave that.
I think if they're smart, I think Star Wars in general should never touch Vader again. They should be done.
So then that takes out Dr. Aphra.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think if she was in something else, maybe not her own movie,
you have to rewrite her entire story in order to take Vader out. So,
but she's her comics selling very well, and Vader's not in it at all. It's all about her and the two murderous droids and a Wookiee.
I love her murderous droids. They're so cute. But
and the book is doing well, and they have no plans to. She's going to do a team up with Luke Skywalker. No Vader in that. It's called Screaming.
It's her introduction. Yeah. Her introduction is very tight in with Vader. You can't get around that in her story. So no Aphra, no Vader, no Obi-Wan, no Boba Fett. This line is getting a lot longer.
I think maybe you think the movies should be done after 9 and that we focus on animation and TV?
No.
You think there should be more movies?
Keep on going forever.
But the problem is Disney aren't big risk takers, and they're gonna roll in that Boba Fett, they're gonna roll in that Obi-Wan, and they're gonna roll in another Vader movie, and I just don't know if I'm down for that.
Things could be. Things can change. They've heard people complaining a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We could get a movie starring a black woman, and it proves that there are black women there who can talk for more than 2 sentences.
We need to get Rae Sloane animated and then get her in a movie and then just let her dominate, because she is, I don't know, I'm having hopes that Rae Sloane may be in episode 9, especially after we learned about who she is in the last Aftermath book. It would make sense that we'd see Rae Sloane after what we learned. Yes, because she is the founder of a certain organization.
So, which was awkward, and a very awkward reveal, but I'm letting that go.
Yes, very well. But that's good. 40 years more, let's do it.
40 more years.
In our consciousness will be downloaded into a phone, and we'll be watching new Star Wars. So.
For the rest of my life, Star Wars movies every year or every other year. That would be beautiful.
So happy May the 4th to you. What are you doing for May the 4th?
I'm going to work. Like I do.
Me too. I don't go to work till 3, so I'm going to get up and watch Empire Strikes Back and build a Lego set and go to work.
I'm going to go to work, and I'm going to work all day. Then I'm going to come home, and then I'm going to probably watch, I don't know. Well, I don't really have enough time to watch, because I was like, do I want to watch Star Wars or A New Hope, or do I want to watch Empire? Maybe I'm going to watch A New Hope, Empire, and then Force Awakens.
There you go. That's only 9 hours.
I really love Return of the Jedi, but I need a copy that's not, the special edition. I just can't. That like singing scene, it just
So you want the old school one, not the Force Awakens.
The what?
I mean, you don't want the special edition.
No, I don't want the special edition. That just
So you're all about
the
yeah.
that
So
singing
you're all
scene in
about
his
Ewoks
palace.
singing.
No,
Yeah.
like the in Jabba's palace, like the singing scene
Yes.
where the weird aliens just come up and they do that
Oh, no.
dance, and they're just.
I'm Team Yub Nub. Like that's like
Like
I
if
feel like
the
the
Ewoks
Ewoks.
singing, whatever. That's fine. They're cute. They eat people. I approve of that sometimes. So I'm okay with the Ewoks, but like that
Yeah.
weird singing scene in Jabba's palace, it made no sense. It was just randomly
Yes.
thrown in there, and then it's just weird. It makes the whole
Yes.
thing seem cartoonish, and I just
And young Anakin Force Ghost, I call bullshit. Because it should have been who it was, because he was redeemed as an older man, and that's who his Force Ghost, and people want to argue all the time, no, it's who your best are. Like, no, it should
you know,
be,
in a way I can see it because it was the moment before he completely went dark side.
yes.
Yeah, so then that was the form he
Yeah.
reverted back
But
to.
all I could see is I'm looking at this dude with the scar that killed all these babies, and now he's a Force Ghost. Like, I'm kind of not down with that.
Because, like, the dude he was before, he wouldn't have looked
Yeah.
like that because he was all scarred and egg-headed. So,
Yeah, but the unscarred, egg-headed old white guy dude, I'm thumbs up with that.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. No more tangents. This is it. We're cutting it
All
off.
right. That's it.
May the
And Force
Force
be
be
with you.
you all. All right.
You too.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
I don't know
Okay.
if any of that recorded, but...
Better shake your booties for black girl nerds.